anybody can invest money and bring any franchise. The only brand that had that tea culture was Philly. So we wanted to bring a culture to the US. Let's do it. Let's bring Philly to the US market. I always wanted to do something of my own. You want to invest in people.
Right.
You don't want to invest, in money or time. You can open up a cafe anywhere, anytime,
Right.
with any product, right? But to be able to tell that story to your people, that makes a huge change,
Yeah.
huge impact.
Welcome to the first episode of the Owner's Room. I'm very excited today. I have a very, very special guest. We've got the franchise owner of Filli Cafe. Filli is a huge brand out of Dubai, and I'm really, really grateful that we're able to have it here in Houston, Texas. So without further ado, I want to introduce my first guest, Mr. Ehtesham
Yes.
of Filli Cafe. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Very well.
So now, tell me, Filli, how'd you get started? Where did this idea come from?
So Philly is actually very, very popular in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
We are a total of 5 owners, 5 partners. One of them actually grew up in Dubai.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's actually seen Philly from his childhood.
Wow.
The other partner, he travels to Dubai quite often, at least once a month for sure.
Wow.
So when COVID happened, we as friends, we are good friends too. So we used to hang out together, every weekend. And it was a must that every time we hung out, we used to have chai together, right? And so the partner that travels to Dubai, he used to bring these Philly tea packs from Dubai every single time he traveled. So that was like our main,
Travel ritual.
yeah, travel ritual, you can say it. So, and I was the one out of the 5 owners that used to make the chai because, I knew how to make it because I grew up seeing my dad having chai at least 5 times a day. So, I made it to a point where I kind of learned how to make chai at home. So he used to bring these tea packets and we used to make chai. We used to, drink and hang out every weekend during COVID. And one day it just clicked that, why don't we bring something like, a chai spot? Because in Houston, you have a lot of coffee shops.
Yeah.
You have a lot of cafes,
Yep.
but you did not have a cafe that actually served chai,
Yeah.
right? So, and Philly was just that.
Yeah.
So having 2 of my partners know what Philly was, we just had a conversation one evening and we were like, why don't we bring Philly to US?
Yeah.
Because Philly was actually growing popularity in Dubai back then. And that's how we were like, let's do it. Let's bring Philly to the US market and give US something different. Being an Indian or Pakistani, we have a huge community in the US, right? And every single time when we as families or friends, we hang out outside, we either go to a restaurant or either a coffee shop. So we were like, why not bring something like that where, our community, our people can actually, go to rather than going to these coffee shops, So that's how we were like, let's bring it. Then we spoke to, the brand ambassador of Philly, Rafi Philly.
Yeah.
And he was also looking to expand into the, international
US
markets.
market. Yeah.
And, that's how we connected and that's
The
how
rest is
Philly
history.
happened. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So you told me a little bit about you wanting to bring the culture of like Pakistan and India, the way the Desi community really
Right.
functions. And you saw that there wasn't really chai first cafes, right? I mean, You look around, there's so many coffee first, whether it's large chains like
Right.
Dunkin' or Starbucks,
Yeah.
or you have like little mom and pop shops. And they're also not like, I wouldn't say lounges, right?
Yes.
This is more of a lounge.
Yes.
Most of the time you think coffee, you think, okay, I'm gonna either work or I'm gonna study or I'm gonna just, something I'm quickly picking up and
Right.
then I'm out. But this was like adding that lounge aspect
Yes.
to chai or the coffee experience.
Right.
And you serve both, right?
Yes.
Not
We
just
do have coffee as well.
yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. Originally, where are you from?
I'm originally from India, Hyderabad,
Oh, nice.
but I was brought up in Middle East, Saudi.
Saudi.
So I've spent at least 17 years in Saudi. So I grew up in Saudi,
MashaAllah.
right? So and being in Middle East, I would say that anybody that has actually traveled to Middle East or Dubai, tea culture is huge in Middle East. In
Really?
Dubai, yes. You have like so many different franchises of tea, of chai, that you just drive up to and you just honk, and you'll have the waiter come outside, take your order, and then bring the chai to you. You don't even have to step out the car.
So door to door service.
Exactly.
It's not even like the drive-through.
No.
They take it to the next level.
Yes. So
Wow.
the tea culture is already there in Middle East. It's huge.
Wow. I would have never thought.
Yeah.
I know like even back home in Pakistan, you go to like small places and they give you chai and stuff. It's not really a family ordeal.
Right.
It's more like guys go and
Yeah, it's more like a dhaba style.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
But that's amazing.
Yeah.
That you have that. So they it's like what we have here for coffee, but
Yes.
for chai back home.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like growing up in Saudi?
It was obviously a little different because back then, we were, I used to go, I went to high school in Saudi, right? But growing up, you see that you are not, you're not recognized as much because obviously Arabs have a different mindset, but you do have a lot of different restaurants, cafes that are owned by Asian people. So tea culture was actually starting to get popular in Middle East back then as well. Back then they used to call it karak.
Karak.
Yeah, karak.
Karak.
Yeah, Arabs call it karak. Karak. Chai karak. So that's how people, and even the Arabs, knew what chai was, right? Because they in their culture they have tea as well, right? They do have Moroccan mint tea, like green mint tea, mint teas, but all those teas are without milk, right? So when milk tea was actually introduced in Middle East, it was known as karak.
Wow.
Right?
It's just differently made.
So even today, like if you go to Middle East or Dubai, if you go to any cafes or anything like that, you'll see, a lot of Arabs ordering chai karak.
Do you think that karak chai is closely related to the Yemeni Adni chai?
No, not exactly, because the process of making our chai is completely different and the ingredients too, they're different. Right. And Adani chai has a little more stronger taste in terms of like ginger and cinnamon, things like that. So, but our karak chai only has cardamom, right?
Yeah, that's true. I would have thought maybe somehow chai being so popular, one or the other crossed over,
I mean, you have a lot of varieties in chai now, right? You have Adani chai, you have Yemeni chai, you have, karak chai, and in our part of the world, obviously, we call it dudpati, right? So
Right.
that's also different. So everybody has a different way of making chai, but with Philly, it's unique because it kind of brings that chai culture
Right.
into everybody's mindset, right? So, and there, like I said, in Dubai you have a lot of different tea brands.
Options.
Yeah, you have a lot of different options. But what stands out was Rafi, the CEO of the brand. He made it to a point where he wanted to introduce Philly, the chai itself, to every household. Right, every single person would, needs to know what a chai.
The desi chai.
Yes, desi chai. And Philly is known for its saffron tea. That's the key product. So that adds a total different taste and a sense to the actual chai,
Yeah.
right?
And I think it'll definitely undo the chai tea nomenclature.
Yeah,
People understand chai is chai.
right. I think even in Asian countries like Korea, Japan, they have they call it I think chai tea, right? They call it chai
Even
tea
here,
or
everyone calls it chai tea. But
yeah,
I think slowly it's being people are getting becoming more aware that
right,
wait, chai is the same thing as
right,
tea.
yeah.
So now after Saudi, you came to the United States around when,
2002.
and how was that transition for you?
I just applied for colleges, for uh, and for education basically, and then I just got accepted from a university, and I was in Oklahoma for almost 7 years.
Wow,
Uh, I spent in four and a half years in Stillwater, and then the rest of the time was in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
wow. How's Oklahoma?
It's pretty good. I really enjoyed it because it was a student town. Um, I always tell my people that if you ever want to go to college, go to a place like OSU Stillwater because that is a college town.
Wow.
It's a huge university. You have over here, it's mostly like buildings and things like that. The campus is not, even though campus is huge, but
Yeah.
it is uh, mostly focused on you just go to class and then go back home. Over there, it was completely different. It's more like what you see in Indian movies. A very good example would be Mohabbatein, right? So it was like that
Wow.
experience.
So it's like the whole town revolves around the college.
Yes. So you had like huge lawns in front of the library where people used to play frisbees. They used to have movie nights on the lawn. They used to have like game nights, things like that. So it was completely different. So it's like when you finish your classes, you're actually spending time on campus with
Wow.
friends.
No, I never thought of it like that. I remember when I went to school. So coming from New York,
Right.
the school, it was a commuter school,
Yeah.
and it was just, I mean, you go to your classes, and then you hop back on the train, and you're coming
Go
back.
back to work, work or
Yeah, home. Like it's just,
yeah.
and I always used to think like, man, people who just spend time like on campus, like how,
No.
and like it's
complete-
because
Yeah.
there was no campus really. It was just two
Right.
buildings. That's your college.
Yeah, even if you look at the pictures, I
Yeah.
mean, you'll see it when you actually see the pictures of the campus.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
That's amazing. I'll have to look into it. So now from Oklahoma, you came directly to Houston, or?
Yes, I moved to Houston for work, and then I also went to college here for my master's.
Oh, nice.
I did my master's in chemical engineering
Oh, wow.
at UFH.
It's amazing.
So and then I graduated back in 2013 uh, with my master's degree, and then I worked for an oil and gas company for 6 years, 6.5 years.
And what was your role with that company?
I was a chemical engineer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so you were in chemical engineering right before you got into Philly.
Right.
Wow. Did you always think that somehow you're gonna end up in a business? Were you always business minded, or it just kind of happened?
When I went to college, I always wanted to do something of my own. But when you want to start something of your own, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Especially being in the U.S. where regulations are strict. And so I always dreamt of having something of my own, but I was not able to do it or implement it. But then I guess when COVID happened and when I met my partners, we used to hang out together, and everybody had a single, goal of bringing Philly here. That's how we all connected, and that's how I ended up doing Philly. So
That's beautiful. So, you mentioned Philly was like you and your friends, you got together, and that's how you guys got introduced to the idea of like, we need to bring chai here.
right.
Um,
So
now,
let me add to that. So it's not just tea. Uh, we were trying to bring. I mean, obviously the tea, but we
yeah,
wanted to bring something that it's more of bringing a culture together, right? In our, but I'm pretty sure you can attest to that. Like when we grew up, we used to see our parents, our families, always having chai, right?
yeah.
So tea was a big culture.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cultural thing. So we wanted to bring a culture to the U.S.
Yeah.
So the tea culture, and the only brand that had that tea culture was Philly,
Really?
right?
Now, I want you to tell me a little bit deeper because that was one of the things I was curious about, like why Philly, right? You said growing up you saw like a plethora of different brands that speak to chai and tea. How exactly does Philly bring that, but the others don't?
I'm pretty sure others also do, but Philly is one brand that we actually saw it growing faster than any other brand, and especially in Middle East, right? And today, if you look at it, Philly almost has more than 60 outlets in Dubai itself, right? And now it has almost, I would say, like over 10 locations within the US, and it's still growing. You have you have Philly in Nepal, you have Philly in UK, you have Philly in Mauritius, you have one in India as well, and it's also growing. They're opening one more in South India,
Wow.
so it's growing, internationally as well. So that's one brand that we grew up seeing it, right? We saw it. My partner saw it, so that's how we got connected to
You had
bringing
a
Philly to the US market.
it's not just it's a good business investment. There was
Right,
like your childhood, your memories,
right,
and you feeling you guys were a part of that. You said, hey, if we're a part of this, then we want to have other people be a part of it in the
right,
States or wherever you guys want to take it next,
right.
right? Um, so now investing in a business is a pretty big deal. But investing into a franchise, even more so, there are guidelines and whatnot. What made you confident enough to say, you know what, we can do the franchise?
Um, so when me and my partners, when we wanted to bring something or we wanted to create something of our own, right? And it's very hard to come up with a concept that actually works with people, because restaurant cafe industry is where you work with people, right? You want to convince people to bring or spend money to buy your product, right? So how do you do that? So if something works somewhere, it's not necessary that it'll work everywhere, right? But with Philly, it was different, right? Philly was already growing, and bringing that, tea culture to the US. Uh, Obviously, our franchisors, like the franchisees, they helped us along with it, right?
Yeah.
And knowing Rafi Philly, he's a very down to earth person, and he's very attached to this brand, right? So he
It's his
made it work.
baby.
Yes, it says baby, right? So he made it work, right? And we had to uphold to that, right? When we brought Philly to the US, we didn't want to just bring any brand that anybody can bring, right? Anybody can invest money and bring any franchise,
Right.
but to be able to be connected uh, and feel that you're very close to your culture. So Philly was that, right?
Wow.
I know Rafi, like when we say it, it's like it's his heart and soul, right? It's his brand. He cares way too much. If you see, Rafi has a lot of following on his Instagram as well. So every person that travels all across the world, and if they stop at Philly, they tag him, right?
Wow.
And that's how he knows that people are,
Connecting.
connecting. So that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Who does that? Like no other brand does it, right? Most of the time, people just tag the location or just the brand, but to actually tag the person that created that brand, that's different.
So it's like Philly, every Philly that opens up, every customer that comes, it's like an extension
Right.
of, Rafi's heart and soul and his hard work.
Yeah.
Wow. And to you imagine like the fact that what you like in your brain came up with, it reaches
Right.
such extent.
And that's why, it says uniting cultures one cup at a time. So it's,
Wow. It comes around full circle.
yeah.
That's amazing. So when you did decide, okay, you know what, we're gonna move forward, we're gonna go all in. Were there any fears, any doubts? How did like the people around you, like family, what did they say?
Um, my family was supportive. Uh, like I said, I had no idea what Philly was when we started, hanging out together and making chai. And when I used to see these tea packs
Yeah,
with Philly branding on it, it's like, how is it any different? It's just regular tea
it's
pack.
good chai.
Yeah, it's good. It's just good
Let's
chai,
keep it
right?
moving.
So we just used to make it and everything. But then when we actually, so I actually traveled to Dubai, after COVID, and I stopped at Philly, and that's when I saw like, okay, this is different, right? You have Philly, you know, on Kite Beach. There's a small, what do you call, like a kiosk or kiosk location, and you see lines of people, like even it's a beach, right? So you see lines, people forming lines on that kiosk, as well as you'll see people driving up and parking and waiting for chai. So it was completely different experience.
And to know that, okay, wow, that's powerful.
Yes,
We can be a part of that.
right.
That's what pushed you forward.
Yeah. And the other thing is like the key the key part of Philly is consistency. Like every location that I've been to, I wanted to make sure that, okay, is it any different, right? But it was not. Every location, every single location that served chai had the same taste, same consistency, same, you know, uh, you get the same product every single time.
So it's the model could be replicated easily.
Yes.
Without losing quality.
And with franchise, that's the key, right? You have to have consistency no matter what you do, because that's how you keep your customer coming back to you and happy.
Because when people are so busy in their lives, you never really get to hear people's stories,
Right.
I had basically it's like my distant cousin, but his father passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I had seen him, known him my whole life, like of him, right? So you see him at parties and dinners, things like that. But when he passed away, in his eulogy, they were talking about what an amazing man he was, and all like this guy was an inventor.
Right.
Didn't know that. He had so many patents under his name for AT&T.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow. I would have loved to just have the opportunity to sit talk to him. Hey, like patents,
Mm-hmm.
like being an inventor.
Yeah.
You hear about these like fun little things in
Yeah.
like in a history book or something. But I was like, man, I had the chance to really know someone who was an inventor and actually did it.
Right.
And I mean, I missed it, So I love, and that's why like I really like that he's telling me all of this. Like we've been working together for like mashallah 2 years now.
Yeah.
3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
2024, I think we started, right? 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
About
it's
2
gonna be 2 years in November. And I mean, I love this. I love that I got to really know
Right.
outside of the business, like what made you
Yeah.
today. Now, when it comes to opening a franchise, of course, it's not free. You're
Right.
not just gonna say, "Hey, sign me up," and walk right in. Um, when opening a business or even a franchise, what is one of the biggest expenses that people like don't really think about?
I think in any restaurant business or cafe business, right? Uh, your major expenses are your uh, labor, payroll, and cost of goods.
Cost of goods.
Yeah. I mean, if you can control that, that's the key, right? Because there are fixed expenses that you can control, your rent, your utilities, things like that. So they are fixed. You can control that,
Right.
right? So the only thing that you can manage and control is
The
payroll.
variable.
Yeah. So as if you know how to do that, that's your key to
That's the
growth
secret
and
sauce.
success, right? Yeah.
Good to know. Now you started your first location. When did you open it?
2002.
2002. How long?
Sorry, yeah, 2022. My bad. 22.
2022.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's been 4 years
Wow.
of our first location.
How long would you say it took you to break even?
Um, that's a tough question. Um, इसको निकाल दे.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the cafe industry, what are the margins like?
I think,
Would you say it's worth it?
I mean, any restaurant or cafe business, right? Your profitability margin would be anywhere from 20 to 35%, I would say, depending on how you manage and control it. That's like the norm.
When you like opened your doors month to month as you were going on, did you have any doubts of, okay, is the business going to be good? Is it going to stay good throughout? Or was it more of like, you know what, I've seen it, I know everything about Philly,
Right.
it's gonna succeed hands down?
When you open up, your biggest challenge is you want to know if it's going to work, right? If people are going to like it,
Right.
right? But with Philly, we already knew that Philly was a brand in Dubai, right? But to make that work into the US was a little challenging because um, you want like tea culture is, like I said, it's very, very big in Dubai, in Middle East, right? But to introduce that concept here to people that had no idea what it was a little challenging for us. Um, like every customer has a different mindset, right? When they walk in to a new place, they expect um, what do you call? They expect speed, customer service, and consistency, and that's the key, or you can say your core for any business,
Right.
right? Any business that you start, if you can maintain that, then you already won your customer, right? And Philly already had that, right? Because, like I said, in Dubai, Philly was already very, very popular.
Right.
So we just had to follow, you know, uh, what what do you say? Like you just had to follow that same model, but at the same time educate our customers here as to why you want them to come back to you and spend their money, right? Like educating the customer was a little hard because over here uh, your customer expects speed uh, with customization, right? And that becomes hard.
Right.
In Dubai, it's not that hard because I always tell even my family and staff that when we actually travel to any country in the world, right, we already have that mindset that we are on vacation, right? So when we actually rely on going to a place or cafe or restaurant, we rely on Google, right? We rely on reviews. Like, okay, this place has a lot of reviews, has a 5-star rating or a 4-star rating, so we should
Right.
hit this place, right? And when we actually go there, even though the service takes longer, we are still calm. We are still okay about it, right? We don't complain because we are in that already mindset that we are on vacation,
Right.
right? But when things are here, when you're in your local city or whatever, your mindset completely changes because now you're expecting speed, you're expecting, you want all these customizations and you're expecting speed, you're expecting your service to be like quick.
Right.
So it becomes hard. So that was a huge challenge for us.
So, what steps did you take to educate your customers here?
Um, you know, I always try to listen to customers' feedback. Um, it's like, but I don't react to it. Uh, I, I would say that I don't react to every opinion that I get, right? Because if you start doing that, then you're actually deviating from your uniqueness or your quality, because every customer has a different palate, you know, like their taste is different. So if you start changing your brand, which you believe in, by listening to different customers and implementing it right away, you're just breaking that
Right.
consistency. So it's very important to hear the customer feedback, but at the same time, you want to maintain your quality and consistency, right? So that was a challenge. And with Philly, it was not that hard, I would say, because, everybody has been to Dubai, everybody has traveled, abroad. So they already knew what Philly was. Like people that have lived in Dubai, that have moved back to the US, people that have traveled to Dubai for vacations. So everybody knew what Philly was, right? But not on a larger scale, but yes, they knew what Philly was. So when we brought Philly to the US market, it was a little easier for us because we already had that customer, right? Which
Right.
knew what Philly was.
You had a certain like warm market, I guess, that
Yes.
understood. Oh, great! It's
But then
something
again,
familiar. It's nice. It's coming
yeah,
here.
and then what really helped was social media, word of mouth, that brought organic buzz to the brand.
Right. After you open your doors, business is going. How many months in would you say you're like, hey man, this is it. We're doing great. We're off to a good start, and we just got to now take this bigger, better.
Um, so like I always tell people, like, that always wanted, I have a lot of friends that want to, you know, bring something or, own a business or try to do something of their own. But I always tell them that, look, hey, my idea of doing business is different because I focus on long-term branding, right? When you work with a brand, you already have someone that already has, put in their heart and soul to make that brand work,
Yeah.
right? So even if you fail somewhere, you already have someone that kind of,
Has
guides
your
you
back.
and yeah, and pushes you to, fix and focus. But if you try to create something of your own, then it's a huge challenge. So with Philly, it was easier for us because Philly was already known to a lot of people, and
Right.
Rafi, like I said, it's his heart and soul. So
Yeah.
you know,
He does a great
right,
job being a brand ambassador.
right.
Now that you've kind of been in this for quite some time, what does a normal day look like for you as a franchisee?
My normal day is, I try to spend time on the ground, visiting each store, uh, you know, connecting with my staff, hearing their hurdles, what they face, every single day, the challenges, and listening or hearing them out, trying to teach them and learning myself along the way as well. And that's what I tell my staff as well, right? You know, I, 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 s- I try to tell them that, don't invest, um, in, it's, how do you say it? You want to invest in people.
Right.
You don't want to invest, in money or time,
Right.
because that can come and go. When you start investing in people, you you yourself learn along the way. At the same time, you kind of teach people that want to learn, right? So my daily routine would be like, going to each store, spending time listening to customers' feedback, talking to customers, um, hearing their opinions, and what they think we can change in our menu or whatever, if they have any suggestions, including suggestions from my staff. Yeah, so that's pretty much my day, I would say, and then go back home and try to start over again with the
Rinse
same.
and repeat.
Yeah.
Right now on your team, how many employees are you managing?
I have about, I would say, 25 people overall, and
In managing 25 people, I'm sure it can be very easy because you have such a large staff, or it
it's
can be very hard, right?
it's not easy. Trust me.
What are the biggest headaches?
Um, I feel like I've become a therapist to my staff because every single time I walk into a store, I've it's like everybody is just waiting for, letting their steam out, you know, uh, whether it be their challenge with an equipment or a customer or their co-staff. So it's like every single time I walk into a store, I have to hear everybody's, problems. So there's not a single day, I would say, that when I walk into the store and, you know, like I've been asked, how are you doing today? You know, so and that's how it starts. And then it's like, okay, I have this issue. I have this has been going on, or this customer has been complaining about, this, or whatever. So that's the huge,
Everybody comes to you with
yeah,
A to Z problems.
right. Everybody has their own problems because, it's nobody's perfect, right? So everybody has their own personal, what do you call, uh, personal issues. Plus, they have to
Work.
be focused on work as well. And I try to tell people, no matter how much you try and tell them or convince them, that when you come to work, you know, try to forget your personal issues and
The
focus
door.
on, professional issues.
Right.
It's very hard, because when you are in customer business, even sometimes your customer, dumps their,
Yeah.
frustration on you, right? And then it's very hard to kind of convince that customer as well. So it becomes challenging. So that's how I feel like I've become a therapist to all my staff, because I feel like when I walk into the store, the entire vibe changes. Everybody's kind of calm and they know that, okay, he's here.
You're gonna
We
take care
can,
of the
yeah,
fires.
we can, you know, shoot all the problems at him and he's gonna have a solution for us, whatever.
Would you say you're an expert problem solver now?
No, I'm not. Trust me.
You're just getting started.
I tell I tell my staff that, I try to give you guys therapy sessions to calm you guys, who's gonna calm me down when I need it, right? And they laugh at it. So, but yeah, it's good. It's challenging sometimes, and I know that one thing that I've learned is, when you have someone that's, not in the right state of mind and trying to dump all their problems on you, you want to take it in, you want to take your time, calm them out, and then react, accordingly, and,
Right.
and then, you know, teach them that, hey, it's okay, like, it happens, things happen, we'll take it one by one.
Move on from there.
Right.
Yeah. Um, I think a lot of people have to, in some way, grow from that. And I know you deal with different personalities. I mean, managing a team of 25, you probably see a lot of personalities. And I think what you're doing, having people go through that, it's like a learning curve of their own, right?
Right.
With time, of course, you like you said, you're investing the time into people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you have some members of your staff that have stayed and then gone on to do other things, other projects, and then some you've really recouped the fruits of those people labor.
Right. When I say that I invest in people, I learned this from my friends as well, right? Uh, Especially my key friends that I have, right? When we hang out, we never, we never like judge or what do you call, like,
Assume
like how sometimes people are just money minded, and they just want to,
people are not utilities to be
right.
used, right?
So when I say that I invest in people, I mean it, right? It's like even with my staff, right? I always tell them that, hey, look, if I'm not just your boss, right? I'm your friend as well. So if you have anything that happened in the store or any, you know, anything with a customer, share it with me, right? Don't hide it because that helps you let off your whatever burden that you have. At the same time, I may have something that will help you to tackle that next time, right? And majority of my staff, today I can happily say that they've been with me from day one.
Wow.
And people that have actually also like moved on from working for me, they still visit us. They still stop by to say hi. I know that a couple of my previous employees, whenever they come, they always tell me that they don't come here for Philly. They come here for me.
Wow.
So like, and I've had, I think, Alhamdulillah, I'm very glad for that. That I've people that have moved on in their lives from working from me for Philly. But every time they come in, and if they see that I have, it's busy and my current staff needs help, they step in. They step in without even asking me. You know,
Wow.
they step in to help. They step in taking orders, helping. So that's something that I never imagined I would have, right? But that came in when you actually invest in people,
Right.
right? So that's how I believe, like, you should always invest in people.
Oh, that speaks volumes, and it's very powerful too.
Yeah,
That even down the line, if they're not even working with you, but they still think of you in that regard. Imagine, a few years, 5 years, 10 years from now,
right.
they still think of you,
Yeah.
and that's a lasting impact.
Hmm. And I teach my staff, my current staff that's with me right now. I always tell them, look, no matter where you work, right? No matter where you go, where you work, whatever company you work for, always think of it as a learning experience
Yeah.
because you will learn something new every single day. I learn something every single day,
Yeah.
right? I'm not a business person. I learned how to do it, right? I made myself to where I spend time. I used to spend time with my staff. I used to spend time in the kitchen. I used to spend time in, making drinks. And everybody used to be like, hey, you're the boss. You don't need to do this, right? And I said, no, I need to know how to do it because, if I can do it, you can do it, right? But if you can do it and I cannot do it, then I shouldn't be here,
Yeah.
right? So that's why, like, I always try to be a friend to my staff, but at the same time, the boundary is always there, right?
Of course.
But they have to be connected. They have to feel safe, knowing that, hey, he's not just our boss. He's always there when we need help. Doesn't matter what it is, like be it work, be it personal. You always need to have somebody that is always there to help you.
It's definitely one of the qualities you want to have in a leader, right? That when people look towards they're look towards you, they're inspired, they're motivated, or like, hey, if they have problems, they feel comfortable coming and discussing that with you. And I think the sooner things like that can be like ironed out, the faster you can move forward, right?
And a lot of the times, when it's busy, right, you have, your customers are waiting for their orders and they're getting frustrated, right? Because everything takes time, right?
Yeah.
And we try to focus on quality as well, right? So when the customer is frustrated, they dump their frustration to the staff. Like,
Right.
hey, where's my thing? Where's, I ordered this or whatever. And at the same time, that pressure kind of builds and they get frustrated too, right? So I always tell them, it's okay, and that's what I try to teach them, that no matter what you do, you're never going to have a perfect day. There will always be something that'll go wrong.
Yeah.
It can be, your operations, it can be, short staff, equipment, failing. So you just have to take it one by one, and then, what do you like, take it slowly and patiently, and then focus on one problem at a time and then move on.
You'll eventually tackle it,
Right.
but just don't let it get to you all at once.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to look at it.
A lot of the times I get a phone call from, my staff that, hey, this equipment is not working. It's broken down. I don't know what to do, and they're freaking out. And I tell them, hey, look, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Just try to find a solution. And then when I step in or when I come in, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. What would you say, like, right now you're in a franchise model. What would you say would be the toughest part of this versus had you just built your own brand?
The hardest part of building something of your own would be trying to convince your customer why should they come, to your business to spend money.
Right.
Right.
Getting that brand awareness.
Yes.
That brand, what that brand stands for,
Right.
which Filli does a great job at.
Yeah. Educating your customers, why is it different and why is it worth it?
Right.
Right. That's the key.
And
that's the hard part.
What about for Filli? What's the hardest part of you?
With Filli, I think the hardest part was educating customers that do not know what Filli is, because a lot of the times we have, non-desi customers that walk in, and when they see Filli, they have that notion that it's a Filli cheesesteak sandwich, right?
Really?
Yeah, I do get that a lot. So
wow. So where's my sandwich? What is this chai thing? Why do you have cups of chai everywhere?
So when they walk in, they'll be like,
"Where's my Filli cheesesteak?"
Filli,
Do you?
Yeah,
do you have Filli cheesesteak sandwiches?
No, we don't. On the menu. But I do have a lot of people that kind of ask, do you have, Filli sandwiches?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, that's completely different. That's a different Filli. This is different Filli. So
you guys have Filli noodles.
Yeah, foodles.
Foodles, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the foodles.
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna.
That's my favorite too.
Which one?
The Szechuan foodles.
Szechuan. Yeah.
That's like one of our signature.
I want to make sure I get some before I go.
Yeah.
What breaks most often in the business?
What do you say?
What breaks most often in the business?
What breaks? Like as in?
Is it machinery, cups?
Oh.
People.
I would say
customers' egos.
Yeah, I think customer ego would be number one, and then would be like plumbing issues.
Plumbing issues?
Yeah, plumbing issues.
Really?
A lot, yes. Especially restrooms.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have never thought you would tell me. Yeah, in my you know, in my cafe.
You know, it's
It's
surprising that we at home you don't find people, or maybe I don't know, but I don't know, but we don't find people using the restroom as aggressively as you do here in restaurants. You know,
yeah.
yeah, people dump all sort of things in your
Wow.
toilet, and that just
I would have never in a million years thought that that really was a big problem.
yeah.
I see it all the time. You know, every like restroom you go to, people, of course, they put, please don't put things on the toilet and
Yes.
this and that. But I, wow,
Yeah, it's just it's I think every 3 months I once in 3 months I have to call a plumber. Yeah,
wow.
so that's like
Time to open
big.
a plumbing company now.
No, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, that's and then every day is a challenge. So equipment failures happen.
Yeah.
Staffing issues happen. Operation wise, things not always go your way. So you just have to you know just go on a daily
Adapt.
basis, adapt. Right.
Yeah. Now, you had in the beginning talked a little bit about all the things you had to do to really grow and bring where your franchises are today. Uh, what actually brings customers in?
Um,
Like, is it location? Is it the marketing? Is it the product?
I think in today's social media era, uh, everybody social media is huge, right? It's like every place that opens up, they try to market themselves, which is a good thing, but I believe that when you want your customer to come back to you, consistency in your product, you need to believe that whatever you're selling or whatever you're giving out to customers uh, is worth it for them, right? One thing is consistency for sure, and the other thing is taste, right? uh, when I say taste, it's like um, people just don't buy taste, right? They're buying the entire experience. That's what people come for. um, I remember like when we actually go to a restaurant with family and friends, most of the time we're just there to eat food and then head out, right? Because obviously, you have other customers waiting that want to be, seated or whatever. But with Philly, it's different because you are giving an experience to a customer. When they walk into Philly, my goal or our goal is that we don't want the customer to leave. They can stay here as long as they want. They can study, they can work. It's that whole culture, right? They You want to make them feel home, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they can do at home, they can do it here, right? Be it meetings, be it your homework, uh, classes, whatever it is. So when we want customers to walk in to our cafe, we want them to spend as long as they want, doing whatever they want, right? Like whatever, meetings, work, whatever. So
Like home away from home.
right.
Oh, it's beautiful. Um, right now, I know you have two locations. On the next location that you want to open, is there anything that you would do differently or like mistakes that you've learned from that you're like, you know what, I wouldn't do it here?
We always try to improve operation wise. That's what I think I would mention because operationally, every store is different. Your customer is different. Your customer palette is different. So you actually want to, you like if you see Philly, even in Dubai, uh, apart from our, you know, key signature items, every Philly has a different set of menu as well, right? So that comes from, and every Philly looks different. I'm sure you've seen the Sugarland location.
Yeah.
It is completely different than our Hillcroft location. Uh, so that's the idea that when you walk into any Philly, you should not feel like you're walking into the same
Copy paste.
copy paste restaurant, right? Like if you go to a Starbucks is the same every single, everywhere in the world. It has the same look, same furniture, but with Philly it's different. We try to give a different ambience, different experience to the customer. We are opening a third location in Dallas, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So it'll be different as well.
There as well.
Yeah,
I look forward to it.
yeah.
Now, you had mentioned that social media, like, people when they open, that's one of the things they do to bring customers in. Do you feel that it actually help, or it's just like hype? It's just one of the things you do just to do it.
I think it does help, but again, when, like for me, for example, when I look into social media, when I see, okay, this place opened up, I want to go try it, right? Obviously, with social media, everything looks appealing.
Yeah.
Everything looks, fancy. But when you actually walk into it, when you actually try it out, it's a complete different experience. Sometimes it might not be something that you want to try it again, right? You might have a, not so good experience. Sometimes it might be so good that you want to tell your friends and family that, hey, I tried this place, it's good, we need to go again, let's try it out.
Yeah.
So I would say social media does help a little, but I don't completely believe in trying to market yourself a lot on social media. I use social media to kind of connect to my customers. So when I say that, that means that I'm not just posting about my store or posting about Philly. I'm trying to connect with them by creating like funny content,
Yeah.
funny videos, where they can actually relate. You know, where they can actually relate. Oh, yes, this happened with us. It's funny, right? So that's what I believe in. That's what I try to create when I create content. And if you see, like most of the videos that we have is mostly when we actually introduce a new product, or most of the time it's just showing our ambience. Uh, the only key product that I have is with Philly is chai, right? So that's the only thing that we always have it on social media.
Yeah.
But
So would it be fair to say that social media is more of like a amplification tool? It's not the end all be all. It can bring customers in, but at the end, it's really your product that
Yes.
speaks for itself.
yes,
If you don't have a good service or product, social media will bring customers in, but it'll just as quickly take them away too.
yeah, I agree. Because you always want people to come back to you no matter
Right.
what, right?
Not a one-time thing.
Not a one-time thing. So how do you bring your customer back?
As
I mean, everybody
repetitive,
knows
right?
Philly has chai, right?
Right.
But still, how do you bring every customer to come back to you to not just have chai, but have coffee, have food, or
Right.
anything like that, or just come and hang out with your friends,
Right.
So how do you do that?
Right.
You know, so we try to create content that is more, I would say, trending. But again, with social media, it's completely different. But now you have AI tools and everything, which a lot of people try to use.
Right.
I try to avoid you know.
You want to keep it raw and authentic.
Right.
I respect that. You've owned a cafe now for about going on 4 years almost, right? And in 4 years, you've grown to two locations.
Right.
You're going to be doing a third one in Dallas, you said.
Inshallah.
What what's something that, a lot of people, it's like the easiest thing that people say, oh yeah, I want to own a cafe, right? I want to own a chai spot. What's the one of the biggest things that people have wrong when it comes to wanting to own a place like this?
What is the biggest thing?
What is one of the things that people have wrong when it comes to wanting to own a cafe?
Owning a cafe. Um, I think the biggest thing is when you believe in your product, you need to make, you need your customers to believe in you, right? So knowing your product deeply, that's one of the key things. If you don't believe in your product, then how are you convinced? How are you going to convince, you know,
Others.
others to, you know, believe in it, right?
Right.
The other thing is, like, again, like I said, consistency. When you create something new, you have to maintain consistency, because that's the only way your customer is going to come back to you, right? If, let's say, for example, with chai, right? We all know chai takes, a lot of time to make, right? So when you make chai, it's,
Good chai makes a lot of
yes,
time.
good chai takes a lot of time to make, right? Um, when you make chai, right, you like, that if you've been to multiple chai places, right, multiple restaurants where they serve chai, right, uh, you'll end up having a day where, if you're consistently going to a restaurant where that serves chai, and to have chai, you'll one day you might just have a watery chai, right, with too much water. One day you might feel it's, overcooked. One day you might feel it's undercooked, right? So that's the main thing. Like, if you maintain that consistency, your customer is going to come back to you, and that's what we believe in. That's what we focus on. With Philly, consistency is very important for us, especially.
You don't want your customer coming back uh, feeling that sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not
Right.
what I'm paying for at all. In the 4 years, I'm sure you've had some really stressful moments and some really easy moments. What would you say is the most stressful moment you've had so far?
Stressful moment, I would say, um, short staffed, for sure.
Really?
I'm pretty sure everybody in the restaurant business can attest to it. When you don't have the right amount of people that you need
Yeah.
to work and make your process work in a streamlined process,
Yeah.
it just becomes difficult. um, you know because now you have people that have to pick up another person's job as well, right? Like, they have to overwork themselves to kind of make it work, and then you have to step in as well
Right.
to kind of make it work. So that's the biggest challenge, I would say, that not having the right staff or right amount of people
Wow.
to work at a given time.
Have Have you ever thought, like, when things got really tough, that you're like, man, I don't know if I could do this. I want to quit.
No, I've never had that thought in general, but yes, there were times when I used to feel like, oh, how am I going to do this, or how am I going to pass this day, right? Um, but I would also add to it that, Alhamdulillah, like, the staff that I have has always been my support. In my toughest time, in you know times where we were short staffed, and like just last month, I would say, like, I was short staffed, right? And the people that I have currently working for me, they were like, Adibai, don't worry, we are there, we'll take care of it, you know? So, and they stepped in like out of their comfort zone
Yeah.
and picked up, that person's job. So that's like, I think uh, that's my biggest strength, I would say.
Wow.
Having people that work for me that are always there.
Kind of like coming back full circle to what you said earlier about investing in people,
People.
right?
Yes.
If someone came to you today, said, "Hey, look, I see that you've got, two successful Philly franchises, you're opening a third. I want to open one too. I want to be just like you." What would you tell them?
I would say yes, go for it. You know, I mean, if you believe that you can do it, go for it. I believe everybody has a right to, you know, do something that they want to like grow with, right? Even with my staff, like I always tell them that, hey, if you have something that you want to, do or believe that you can do it, then, if I can help you with it, I will do my best, you know. Or if me and my partners can help you with it, we'll help you with it, you know. So I think if someone comes up to me and says that, hey, I have this thing that I want to start, um, you know, I I tell them about the challenges that they can face. Um, I always try to make them aware that, hey, when you start something, you are going to face these challenges. So you have to be able to adapt to it. You have to be able to, you know, fix it. But those are challenges that might, you know, put you in a situation where you might say that, okay, I can't do this anymore. It's too much for me. You will have those days. But once you know how to focus and be persistent, be patient, I'm sure you'll be able to.
So now you went from being a chemical engineer to stepping into this role of not just a cafe owner, but carrying the name of a very large brand from Dubai, bringing it over to the United States and making sure that it continues to flourish and grow. Would so you've grown a lot from just being a professional to being a cafe owner to being a full-fledged entrepreneur.
Right.
Right now, to someone who's an entrepreneur starting out, if they had, let's say, $50,000, $100,000 to invest, what would you recommend they do with it? Sorry, one second. Let me ask that question one more time. I want it to be an easy flow. If you had an entrepreneur who said, "Hey, I've got $50,000, $100,000 to invest," what would you tell them to put their money in?
Real estate.
Real estate? Not Philly Cafe.
I mean, $50,000 is not going to get you anything in this market, especially.
What
Right?
what with real estate, what would you tell them to go into?
No, I'm just saying,
Oh,
uh, what I'm saying is, I, I think I know that there are franchises that, do franchise for $50,000,
or even like 100 grand.
$100,000. Yeah. Um, I mean, it's like, again, like I said, you have to believe in something that you want to do, right? If you want to do a cafe, then yes, go for it. If you want to do a restaurant, yes, go for it. But you have to believe that you can make it work. You have to believe in whatever product you're investing in
Yeah.
has to work, right?
Your conviction, your
Yes.
conviction has to be there.
Right.
It's not just about having money
Right.
or hiring someone to do it. You
Because
yourself.
food and beverage industry is hard. It's not easy, right? Especially in the U.S.
Right.
because margins are tight.
Right.
Regulations are tight,
Right.
strict. So, everything that you do, has to have a perfect execution, right? Proper planning. You know, anybody can invest $100,000 into anything, right? But to be able to believe in your investment is what will actually help you grow, right? That's what I feel. Right? If you want to invest in real estate, yes, go ahead, do it. But you have to believe that, okay, if I'm investing into something, I have to make it work.
Yeah.
You know,
Knowing everything you know now, if you would had to do it all over again, would you still choose to franchise, or would you choose to start your own brand?
I would still choose to franchise. Like I said, I believe in a long-term brand building over, you know, short-term. Uh,
Potential gain.
yeah, um, it's like, if you are introducing something new, uh, it is challenging. It is hard to make it work first, and then convince your customer that why do they have to invest into it? Like, why do they have to come to you? How is it any different than,
The next guy
the
down the
next
block.
person or whatever?
Right.
So, how do you differentiate yourself in that market?
Yeah.
Because if you look at it now, like today, uh, you know, every single day you see a new cafe opening. Every single day you see a new restaurant opening. Everybody, it seems like everybody is going into food and beverage business these days. Um, so when we actually opened up Philly, right, 4 years back, it was a complete new thing for even our customers, because where you used to get a chai for $2 a cup, now you're paying $1 more.
Yeah.
But then why are you paying that dollar more, right? You're paying for experience. You're paying for that culture that Philly brought. It's not just a cup of chai. It is the whole entire experience and culture,
Wow.
right? And that's what Philly is about. So if you start with something, if you are introducing something new that you want to invest in, you have to believe into it, right? Unless and until you believe into it, you're not going to be able to convince your customer, right?
It's the legacy.
Right.
It's not just a single product.
Yeah,
It's the whole legacy behind it.
right. Because you need to be able to tell the story to your customer.
Right.
That's what they want to hear, right? I mean, selling chai is not hard, right? I mean, opening a cafe is not hard. You can open up a cafe anywhere, anytime,
Right.
with any product, right? But to be able to tell that story to your people, that makes a huge change,
Yeah.
huge impact.
Oh yeah.
And Philly is about story. It's a story about how a small tea stall in Al Manzar started, and today it has over 100 outlets across different countries. Right?
So buying this cup of chai, it's not just about a cup of chai.
It
You're
has a
buying
story behind
into
it,
a family.
right? Yes, it has a story, right? If you go to Filli Cafe website, it tells you the story of Rafi Filli, how he started from a small, tea stall in Al Mamzar, to creating a international brand all across, the US, UK, UAE. So
And off of something so simple as just
just a
chai.
chai.
Just a chai. Amazing. What would you say is the biggest mistake a new business owners make?
I think focusing on systems. When I say systems, that means, especially in restaurant business, right? You have to focus on your recipes, your consistency, your training, being able to maintain that at on an everyday level. Uh,
So you would say the biggest mistake business owners make is not being able to, like, they overlook that.
Yes.
They skip ahead and think about profits or
Right.
like what they're putting out on the menu, but it's the systems. That's what really makes the business
Right.
successful
You
or
focus
failure.
on recipes, consistency, proper training, then I would say, like, that, and quality, obviously, right?
But that falls into systems, right?
Yes.
If you have a good system to make sure the product is made the same way every single time, every single day, quality will
Yeah.
be there.
Quality will be there and growth will come.
So at the end, it just comes back full circle to systems. What's one thing that has made you successful today?
I would say being able to connect with customers. Every single day, I and it's not just, I'm not just speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for all my partners. I'm speaking for all my partners, that every single time we walk into the store, we are not just walking in to, like, check everything or check on, things, but we are actually here to connect with people. We are actually here to listen to customer feedbacks. I try to hear, every single time I'm behind the counter, I'm always there, not just, correcting my staff or, looking at uh, numbers or anything like that, but I'm there to let people know that I'm here. I can talk to you. You can talk to me about anything, right? Just being able to connect to the customer. How was your day? How is everything? What did you order today? Would you like to try something new that we have on the menu, right? Or if they have, if they had a bad experience, what happened? Why did it happen? I want to look into it. I want to fix it. And next time when you walk in, I'll have that fix for you. You know, and next time when they walk in, I'm there again asking them, was it, you know, was it good for you today? So being able to listen to the feedback as well as connect to my customers.
Wow, I love it. Okay, so I want to do a quick rapid fire session with you. So I'll just give you two options. You pick which one resonates with you the most, okay?
Okay.
So for starters, of course, coffee or chai?
Chai.
Hire slow or fire fast?
Fire fast.
Profit or growth?
Growth.
One business you'd start today, if not this.
Um, Dessert shop.
Really? Wow. Why dessert shop? You got a sweet tooth?
No, I personally don't. But I think that's another thing that I feel is missing. Creating, like, Philly is about chai culture, right? So I think the next thing would be creating a sweet sweet tooth culture, I would say. Dessert shop.
Coming soon.
I guess, I don't know.
Great. Well, again, I really want to thank you for being with us to help with this first episode. Where can people find you?
Filli Cafe. We have two locations. One is in Sugarland and one on Hillcroft. You can always also find us on our website. It's phillicafetexas.co. We are also opening our third location in Dallas
Wow.
pretty soon. So if you sign up on our website, you will, or our Instagram. Our Instagram handle is Filli Cafe Texas. So we'll be posting about our Dallas grand opening pretty soon. So make sure to follow us. We do also have a rewards program. You can sign up on our website, and just keep following us.
Sounds great. Any last advice?
For chai, always think Philly.
Beautiful. Well, again, thank you so much,
Thank you.
and I wish you guys the best of luck,
Thank you.
best success. I'm looking forward to you guys opening not just your third, but your 30th location all
Inshallah.
across Texas.